The parsnip Pastinaca sativa is a root vegetable closely related to carrot and parsley, all belonging to the flowering plant family Apiaceae. It is a biennial plant usually grown as an annual. Its long taproot has cream-colored skin and flesh, and, left in the ground to mature, becomes sweeter in flavor after winter frosts. In its first growing season, the plant has a rosette-pinnate, mid-green leaves. If unharvested, it produces a flowering stem topped by an umbel of small yellow flowers in its second growing season, later producing pale brown, flat, winged seeds. By this time, the stem has become woody and the taproot inedible. Precautions should be taken when handling the stems and foliage, as parsnip sap can cause a skin rash or even blindness if exposed to sunlight after handling. The parsnip is native to Eurasia. It has been used as a vegetable since antiquity and was cultivated by the Romans. Although some confusion exists between parsnips and carrots in the literature of the time, it was used as a sweetener before the arrival of cane sugar in Europe. Parsnips are usually cooked, but can also be eaten raw. The flesh has a sweet flavor, even more so than carrots. It is high in vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals, especially potassium, and also contains both soluble and insoluble dietary fiber. Parsnips are best cultivated in deep, stone-free soil. The plant is attacked by the carrot fly and other insect pests, as well as viruses and fungal diseases, of which canker is the most serious. The parsnip is a biennial plant with a rosette of roughly hairy leaves that have a pungent odor when crushed. Parsnips are grown for their fleshy, edible, cream-colored taproots. The roots are generally smooth, although lateral roots sometimes form. Most are narrowly conical, but some cultivars have a more bulbous shape, which generally tends to be favored by food processors as it is more resistant to breakage. The plant's apical meristem produces a rosette of pinnate leaves, each with several pairs of leaflets with toothed margins. The lower leaves have short stems, the upper ones are stemless, and the terminal leaves have 3 lobes. The leaves are ones, or twice-pinnate with broad, ovate, sometimes lobed leaflets with toothed margins. They grow up to 40 centimeters, 16 inches long. The petioles are grooved and have sheathed bases. The floral stem develops in the second year and can grow to more than 150 centimeters, 60 in tall. It is hairy, grooved, hollow except at the nodes, and sparsely branched. It has a few stalkless, single-lobed leaves measuring 5 to 10 centimeters to 2-4 in long that are arranged in opposite pairs. The yellow flowers are in a loose, compound umbel measuring 10 to 20 centimeters for 2-8 in diameter. 6 to 25 straight pedicels are present, each measuring 2 to 5 centimeters 1 to 2 in that support the umbellets, secondary umbels. The umbels and umbellets usually have no upper or lower bracts. The flowers have tiny sepals or lack them entirely and measure about 3.5 millimeters 1/8 in. They consist of 5 yellow petals that are curled inward, 5 stamens, and 1 pistil. The fruits, or schizocarps, are oval and flat, with narrow wings and short, spreading styles. They are colored straw to light brown, despite the slight morphological differences between the two. Wild parsnip is the same taxon as the cultivated version, and the two readily cross-pollinate. Pastinaca sativa was first officially described by Carolus Linnaeus in his 1753 work Species Plantarum. 8. It has acquired several synonyms in its taxonomic history. 9. Pastinaca fleischmanni hladnik, xd.dietr. Pastinaca opaca burn, ex hornum. Pastinaca pratensis pers, H. Mart. Pastinaca sylvestris mill. Pastinaca ter escula bois. Pastinaca umbrosa Stephen, XDC, Pastinaca urens rec, X. Goddard. Several species from other genera Uneathum, Elaphoboscum, Pucedinum, Selenum are likewise synonymous with the name Pastinaca sativa. 10. Like most plants of agricultural importance, several subspecies and varieties of P. sativa have been described, but these are mostly no longer recognized as independent taxa. 9. But rather, morphological variations of the same taxa. 6. 218 Pastinaca sativa subsp. Divaricata desf. Rui and Camuspastinaca sativa subsp. Pratensis pers. Velic. Pastinaca sativa subsp. Sylvestris mill. Rui and Camuspastinaca sativa subsp. Umbrosa Stephen, XDC. Bendar. Exo N Corovina Pastinica sativa subsp. Ur ens rec pex gader. Velic. Pastinaca sativa var. Brevis aleph. Pastinaca sativa var. Egelis DC. Pastinaca sativa var. Hortensis air. Ex hoffel. Pastinaca sativa var. Longa aleph. Pastinaca sativa var. Pratensis pers. Pastinaca sativa var. Siamensis Rome. And Schult. EX aleph. In Eurasia, some authorities distinguish between cultivated and wild versions of parsnips by using subspecies PS, sylvestris for the latter, or even elevating it to species status as Pastinaca sylvestris. In Europe, various subspecies have been named based on characteristics such as the hairiness of the leaves, the extent to which the stems are angled or rounded, and the size and shape of the terminal umbel. 6. 218. Parsnip leaves are sometimes tunneled by the larvae of the celery fly. Pale brown passages can be seen between the upper and lower surfaces of the leaves. The effects are most serious on young plants, as whole leaves may shrivel and die. Treatment is by removing affected leaflets, whole leaves, or by chemical means. The crop can be attacked by larvae of the carrot fly. This pest feeds on the outer layers of the root, burrowing its way inside later in the season. Seedlings may be killed while larger roots are spoiled. The damage done provides a point of entry for fungal rots and canker. The smell of bruised tissue attracts the fly. Parsnip is used as a food plant by the larvae of some Lepidopteran species, including the parsnip swallowtail, the common swift moth Corsheltalus lupulina, the garden dart moth Euxoa nigricans, and the ghost moth Hepulus humuli. The larvae of the parsnip moth, native to Europe and accidentally introduced to North America in the mid-1800s, construct their webs on the umbels, feeding on flowers and partially developed seeds. Parsnip canker is a serious disease of this crop. Black or orange-brown patches occur around the root's crown and shoulders, accompanied by cracking and hardening of the flesh. It is more likely to occur when the seed is sown into cold, wet soil, the pH of the soil is too low, or the roots have already been damaged by carrot fly larvae. Several fungi are associated with canker, including Phoma complanata, Ilionectria rudisicola, Itercinilia pastinacea, and I. perplexans. In Europe, Mycocentrospora acerina has been found to cause a black rot that kills the plant early. Watery soft rot, caused by Sclerotinia minor and S. sclerotirum, causes the taproot to become soft and watery. A white or buff-colored mold grows on the surface. The pathogen is most common in temperate and subtropical regions with a cool, wet season. Violet root rot caused by the fungus Helicobasidium purpureum sometimes affects the roots, covering them with a purplish mat to which soil particles adhere. The leaves become distorted and discolored, and the mycelium can spread through the soil between plants. Some weeds can harbor this fungus, and it is more prevalent in wet, acid conditions. Erisiph herically causes a powdery mildew that can cause significant crop loss. Infestation by this causes results in the yellowing of the leaf and loss of foliage. Moderate temperatures and high humidity favor the development of the disease. Several viruses are known to infect the plant, including seed-borne strawberry latent ring spot virus, parsnip yellow fleck virus, parsnip leaf curl virus, parsnip mosaic potty virus, and potty virus celery mosaic virus. The latter causes clearing or yellowing of the areas of the leaf immediately beside the veins, the appearance of ochre mosaic spots, and the crinkling of the leaves in infected plants. Parsnips resemble carrots and can be used used in similar ways, but they have a sweeter taste, especially when cooked. They can be baked, boiled, pureed, roasted, fried, grilled, or steamed. When used in stews, soups, and casseroles, they give a rich flavor. In some cases, parsnips are boiled, and the solid portions are removed from the soup or stew, leaving behind a more subtle flavor than the whole root and starch to thicken the dish. Roast parsnip is considered an essential part of Christmas dinner in some parts of the English-speaking world and frequently features in the traditional Sunday roast. Parsnips can also be fried or thinly sliced and made into crisps. The author Dorothy Hartley described parsnips as having the type of sweetness that mingles with honey and spice. The food writer Alan Davidson remarks, "Parsnip has a taste which, although not strong, is peculiar and not to everyone's liking." In Roman times, parsnips were believed to be an aphrodisiac. However, parsnips do not typically feature in modern Italian cooking. Instead, they are fed to pigs, particularly those bred to make Parma ham. A typical 100g serving of parsnip provides 314 kilojoules, 75 kilocalories of food energy. Most parsnip cultivars consist of about 80% water, 5% sugar, 1% protein, 0.3% fat, and 5% dietary fiber. A parsnip is rich in vitamins and minerals and is particularly rich in potassium with 375 milligrams per 100 grams. Several of the B group vitamins are present, but levels of vitamin C are reduced in cooking. Since most of the vitamins and minerals are found close to the skin, many will be lost unless the root is finely peeled or cooked whole. During frosty weather, part of the starch is converted to sugar and the root tastes sweeter. The consumption of parsnips has potential health benefits. They contain antioxidants such as falcarinol, falcarindiol, panaxidiol, and methylfalcarindiol, which may potentially have anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and antifungal properties. The dietary fiber in parsnips is partly of the soluble and partly the insoluble type and comprises cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. The high fiber content of parsnips may help prevent constipation and reduce blood cholesterol levels. The parsnip was much esteemed in Rome, and Emperor Tiberius accepted part of the tribute payable to Rome by Germania in the form of parsnips. In Europe, the vegetable was used as a source of sugar before cane and beet sugars were available. As Pastinae comuni, the common pastinaca figures in the long list of comestibles enjoyed. Root parsley, a similar-looking vegetable,